4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
What's up, guys? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I've been helping people for years. This is your way of giving back to me for the information that I provide. All I ask is that you drop a comment, push the like button, and subscribe. It's completely free. It costs you nothing. Scratch my back. I scratch yours. You help me. I help you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I strive hard and work hard to edit all these videos and make all this content for you guys. So the least you can do is those things. So I thought it would be fun to take you guys on this adventure with me, so I can show you kind of how I flip bikes here in Florida. It's a process in itself, and there's always so much fun to be had when you go to look at these bikes from other people. You know, you're told one thing and then you get there and you realize this bike is completely different than it was explained to you in messages, and no matter how many questions you asked, you always find interesting things when you get there and start looking over the machine. You find out who was honest and who was not really quickly. But I thought this would be a fun one to do. He wanted $1,000. It's a 50-mile drive. I have to go to Palmetto, Florida to pick up this 02. I think it's an 03. I ran the VIN. It came back as an 03. But he put it under an 02, and he wanted $1,000. I do know that one of the fork seals need to be replaced, and basically, he says the battery's dead, and the carbs need to be cleaned. That was what I was told. I was told it was a running bike, but it just stopped running, and it's been parked where it's at for quite a while in this parking lot now. So, yep, I talked him down to $700 because I think that was fair. I think based on it needing a tire, the fork seal replaced, carb cleaning, and as of right now, the battery replacement, we're definitely looking at $300 worth of work. So let's drive out there. It's getting ready to rain. There's some big, huge storm coming across Florida right now, but we're going to do it. It's going to be fun. We're going to do it in the rain. I don't mind getting a little wet. I'm going to change some clothes here, and then we'll jump on the road, and let's go have a look at this bike together. Should be fun. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Let's go. A little wet, just a little bit, pretty soaked. Yeah, I work even in the rain. 50-mile drive. Come pick up this guy. $400. Runs, needs a little work. Definitely needs a little bit of work. 2003 750 Honda Spirit. It's pretty clean. I had to look under the seat. It's gonna need a little wiring. But other than that, it's not too shabby. Got a title with it. So seat's in pretty good shape. It's not too bad. So we'll get it home. I'll unload it tomorrow. I got a long drive back to the house here. So look at this, it's not a very heavy bike. Luckily it's not a very heavy bike, but you know, when it's all done, said and complete, I should be able to get like $3,200 for it. So yep, all strapped up, ready to take her home. Let's go. I'm wet. I'm soaked. It was kind of a miserable outing, to be honest with you. Well, I picked up this 2003 Honda Spirit 750. It's pretty clean. Needs a little bit of wiring work, but it's pretty clean. The battery was dead, and I know the cluster needs to be changed. It needs a back tire. Other than that, though, it's pretty darn clean. Cluster got sun-baked, as most of these do. These are just cheap. I'll see if I can track another one down, but I'm pretty sure all this works. It's just this. Not going to be able to see the the odometer mileage. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. I'm going to see if it starts up. That battery's pretty toast, and I can see that somebody rewired the whole system in here for the stator rectifier. So we're going to even see if this thing is charging while it's running. I'm going to have to do a whole check on it, but I just want to see if it runs first. So let me see if this thing cranks up. Let's see what it does here. Lights on. Yep. Tail lights work. I can't tell. Yes, they do. Good. Turn signals. Well, we got a bulb out on both sides. Cool. Now we got to look at the bulbs. but it's clicking. Well, it runs. It's running on one cylinder currently. The other one's trying to kick in. Oh, this thing's been sitting a while. There we go, they're both firing now. That sounds pretty good, surprising. Still gonna need a little bit of a carb cleaning. Yeah, I can tell one of the cylinders is a little sporadic. That's carburetor issues, but it's running on both cylinders. And it sounds pretty darn good. All right, let me check the charging and see what it's doing. Welcome back. So we're going to talk about a few things with this bike. I'm going to tell you everything wrong with it. I'm not going to be repairing any of it in this video. I'm just going to tell you everything I had to order, how I came to those conclusions, so that you can see all this stuff for yourself. And then I will do individual fix and repair videos for those things as I do them, as opposed to just putting them all in one video. But I will tell you everything wrong with the bike right now, so you can distinguish for yourself whether I got a good deal or I didn't. So let me turn this camera around. Let's just say there were interesting choices made. First problem, well, yeah, odometer's gone. This works, all the lights work, odometer's gone. I don't know if I'm going to repair that. I have a feeling like this cluster is going to be like 300 bucks, and it's just not going to be worth it to me to fix it. Bike runs too good, sounds too good to be having any kind of serious mileage. So we'll just move beyond that. The battery, I was told was bad, actually took a complete full charge. So I can remove this off of there, and it did take a 100% full charge. There are strange things going on here. Remember I told you there was wiring under the seat? Ladies and gentlemen, please do not do this to motorcycles. Repair things properly. So the reason I almost walked away from this bike was because if you look inside here, look at all this wiring somebody did. Look at this. These are open wires. There weren't even, these are 3-phase open wires. Do you know how many volts these are cranking out? And this just are open to the world. No caps on these, nothing. These were just twisted together. This is the charging system. This handles all of the voltage for this bike, right? Is the rectifier and the stator. This thing is putting out a ridiculous amount of volts. And they just open wired this thing. Look at this. This is how fires start. This is how you die. The gas tank is right here. The fuel line's right there. Whoever thought this was a good idea was not thinking clearly. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up replacing the entire charging system. That includes the rectifier and the stator, which means that this cover is coming off down here because the stator is behind there. And the rectifier is coming off over here, right there, and that wire runs up into that big mess. And then I have to redo all of the clips. Yes, I went and bought audio clips. I'm going to redo all the clips so that all of this is working how it should. The other thing that really frustrates me with this is the on-off switch. This is what they have decided to do. I don't know why. My guess is at some point that failed, and as you can see, they just cut the wires off of it. So that ignition literally goes to nothing. I have keys for the bike, which fits the gas tank and stuff, but even though it fits in there, it does nothing because they just cut the wires off of it. So that is 100% useless. And what they did is they wired in this little pull toggle switch instead of installing a key ignition. So what I'm going to end up doing is I bought a 2-wire ignition system. that I'll be fitting in that bracket. So this thing actually has a key again, and nobody can just pull the toggle and walk off with your motorcycle and start it up and drive it away, because this is craziness. These are the things that you run into when you buy bikes off people, guys, is this kind of stuff. People that don't either have the money or know how to fix things properly, and you run into this. I mean, this wire is run directly into the fuse panel. Now, I popped this open already and redid the wire job they had in here, but the problem is they cut out all the extra wires. So this is literally now the only way that you can turn the bike on or off without replacing the entire wiring loom, which we're not going to do based on this. I'm not going to redo the entire wiring loom because they did this. What they have functions and it works. It's just a crappy setup, so I'm going to change it. But I won't replace the entire wiring loom based on just this one thing. This is all going to be rewired by me with new audio clips. I checked the oil. The oil's good. Bike runs good. Check the radiator in the front. All that's good. So fan comes on when it gets hot. The carbs do need to be gone through. They just need a cleaning. I can just tell. It's so simple. The fact that it's running on both cylinders right now means that the carb just needs a basic overhaul cleaning. It doesn't need a rebuild kit. It might need the float heights adjusted a tad bit. The rear brakes work, the front brakes work, the horn works, the turn signals work. We got a few bulbs out so it's blinking, but everything works. The tail lights work, all of it works. So if you factor in everything that I have to do, and that includes replace that one fork seal in the front, I'm looking at roughly $10 for a new ignition, because we're just going to third party out the ignition to a 2-wire system. We're looking at $35. We're not doing OEM. We're doing $35 for an aftermarket rectifier, and we're also doing an aftermarket stay door. So that is $55, $30 roughly, $10 ignition. I didn't need a new battery, and then the fork seal kit is going to be like $25, and I'm going to rebuild the forks myself. And then, of course, just a quick cleaning, a few bulbs. I mean, I'm only in for like $140 worth of parts, roughly $125, $140 altogether. So would it be worth it for somebody to pick this up for $400? Yes. I would be quite a bit more frustrated if I paid $700 for this bike, just because there's so much going on here that just I don't understand why they chose this route and these decisions. But I would say overall, it's not that big of a concern for me. Luckily the battery was savable. I didn't have to blow $75 or $100 on a battery. I saved myself some money here and there. I did put this on, and if you guys wanted to know how I came to the conclusion that the rectifier and stuff was bad, is I put my voltage, my multimeter on there while it was running, and it was pulling 11.42 volts, and it just kept getting lower and lower. So clearly it's only running off the power of the battery. The charging system does not work. I'm guessing it hasn't worked for a while. This bike kept leaving Buddy stranded, and he just got tired of the battery dying, couldn't figure out what was going on with the bike, and gave up on it. So it requires the rectifier being replaced and the stay door, and then this to be rewired, and this should work properly after that. Shouldn't be any issues after that. So the ECM is working just fine up here, because clearly if the computer wasn't working, the bike wouldn't run at all. The fact that it runs means that all that is working just fine. So I'm not going to tamper with any of that. We're just going to redoing this switch and redoing the entire charging system. I'm going to change the oil, and this clean the carbs, and this thing should be ready to rip chip. So I hope that helps you guys understand how I go through bikes. I did check the clutch and the gears, and everything seems to be working fine. It's going through all the gears without issue. So I'm pretty sure this bike is still in good shape. I would venture to say this bike probably doesn't even have 20,000 miles on it. The way it's running and the way it sounds, I'm going to go ahead and assume this bike probably has around 15,000 to 18,000 miles on it. It's not even chattery. There's no sounds coming from the engine. Everything sounds extremely normal. It's just unfortunate that when the charging system failed, people started jerry-rigging things and not doing stuff properly. So with that being said, overall, this was a good deal. based on what I paid for it and the amount of work it's going to need because I'm doing it all myself. So if you want to actually see the fixes for this, I will have those videos coming. I have to wait for those parts to come in. But the real question was, did I get screwed on this $400 purchase? And the answer is no. Had I paid more, I probably would have been a bit more frustrated with my purchase. But the fact that I got it, managed to walk away with $400 needing these parts and this amount of work. Yeah, it's a good deal. If you do the work yourself, it's a good deal. If you were to buy this for $400 and then take it to a shop, you do not want to know what they would hit you over the head with costs of replacing just the rectifier and the stator. They're going to hit you over the head with $1,000 bill easily right out the hole. So that's not including the carb cleaning. The carb cleaning, they're probably going to smack you around for about $550 to $600 just for the carb cleaning. So if you're doing all this work yourself, it's a great deal. If you're not, and you're taking this to a shop, you probably want to invest a little bit more money in a bike that doesn't have all these problems if you don't know how to repair them or fix them yourself. So just something to think about. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I hope that helps you guys on your journey here. Like I said, if you're curious about the fixes on this, I will have those videos coming. We're going to do all that together. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Stick around for it. All right. Love you guys. Catch you on the flip. Toodles.